In this video, we are checking out Africa by the band Toto. Of course, Jeff Porcaro on drums, one of my favourite drummers of all time, one of my favourite bands of all time. Toto were really interesting because not only were they successful in their own right as Toto, but if you look at the members of Toto, Jeff Porcaro, Mike Porcaro, Steve Lukather, and so on, as session guys, they played on heaps of really famous artists, albums, singles, and so forth. Everyone from Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Steely Dan, you name it, right? Boz Scaggs. Oh, I've got to do the Lido Shuffle. I'll definitely do the Lido Shuffle. So today we're going to be checking out the groove, the iconic feels, and we'll talk a lot about the feel. Whenever I do a gig and I see there's a chart, you know, like a Toto chart or something that I know Jeff Porcaro's played on, I always think, oh man, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time really nailing that feel. Porcaro wasn't really known as like a super choppy drummer. Of course, he had great chops, but I think the reason he was hired was because he had such an amazing feel and he played parts that really complemented the songs, right? And so even though when you look, and we'll do the on-screen notation, when you look at the pattern for Africa, it's a fairly simple pattern on the face of it. There's a lot going on, especially with the right-hand technique and so on, to make it feel great. So let's jump straight into the pattern. Of course, we've got the right hand doing 16th notes. The right hand is just going 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 the whole way through. And let's have a look at the technique that's going on here, because I'm not just going or we've got loud and soft. Okay, so again, it's this push-pull thing. Same technique that he would have used in Rosanna. Right, the shuffle version of the same thing. And basically for the beat and the in-between eighth note, you're playing the shoulder of the stick on the edge of the hi-hat, 1 and 2 and etc. And then for the in-between sixteenths, raising the wrist and dropping the stick and playing with the tip of the stick on the top. That's not only a softer sound, it's a thinner sound. This is a thick sound, this is a thin sound. This is loud, this is soft, right? So from a textural point of view, as well as a dynamic point of view, they are different, and that helps create the groove. So we've now got 1 E and 2 E and all right, let's have a look from the top. Looks like this. And you can see, because I'm now doing it faster, the motion is really condensed, right? When you're doing it slower, you might want to use a bit more elbow, you know, in the stroke and so forth, but you really don't have time to do that when you're playing it fast. All right, so that's what's going on here. 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4, 1. And it's important to get this technique because this is, you know, a big part of the feel, big part of the groove. From there, the bass drum is playing 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty much the entire way through the song. 4. So it's kind of like a samba in a way. It's obviously not a samba beat at all, but that pattern you can imagine, you know, like a pseudo drum player playing like bop boom boom bop boom boom, like, you know, like in Brazilian music. It kind of calls back to that a little bit. Then of course we've got our backbeat nice and solid on 2 and 4, big rim shot there. And when you put them all together, I'll do it really slow to begin with. Sounds like this. 3 E and 4 E and bit quicker. Okay, so that's basically what's going on there. You saw every now and again I was doing a little inflection. You might want to throw in a little ghost note or something there, and I will show you some variations at the end. You might want to practice that also on different sound sources. You can practice that on the ride cymbal. You might want to go to the ride cymbal in the chorus, for example. All right? Okay, but that's basically what's going on with the groove. Now let's check out these really iconic fills. All right, the first one being 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so now I'm not exactly sure if that last note, I like to throw that in, actually more likely on a gig be here because I don't have 4 toms on most gigs. But there's certainly something on the recording playing that, so I kind of always throw that in as well. But nonetheless, we're playing flams, nice and hard on the 3 toms. You've got beat 1, first tom, the 4th 16th of beat 1, second tom, the 4th 16th of beat 2 back to the first tom, and then 3 and 4, right? So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a boom. All right, and then if you do the little bit at the end, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, depending on if you throw that in or not. But the bass drum pattern is still going throughout that, right? So you've got to be able to do all of it. So it actually 1 E and a 2. Let's keep it a bit slower. It's like this. All right, a bit quicker. Right, so that's what's going on there. You've got to be able to do that pattern and also keep the kick drum going the whole way through. The bass drum basically plays the same pattern the whole way through the song, right? Whether it's the groove or the fill. So that's what Porcaro is playing, more or less, going from the first verse into the first chorus. When you get to the second verse fill into the second chorus, the first bit is left out, so you don't play on beat 1. You just play from beat 3, right? So it's like, yeah, 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and boom. All right, a little slower. 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. And again, you're getting that double bass drum in there. All right, so that'll look more like this. I'll go around 4 bars. 2, 3. Here we go. 1. All right. So that's what's going on there. Now, you can do little variations. Of course, if you're out on a gig and you're playing these songs, I don't think anyone really expects you to be an exact carbon copy of the original recording. Of course, you want to be getting the patterns right. They are iconic patterns. Like you definitely want to be doing those fills, for example, and you definitely want to have, you know, the core pattern happening with the beat as well. But you can add little variations in it if you want. I know that in that intro video that I played you there, where I was playing it in a band at Crown, at Palladium, I was actually using a little ghost note thing, a little variation that I like to play. So instead of playing continuous 16th notes the whole time, you could do a pattern where you're going 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So you're now not doing this kind of push-pull the whole time, and you're playing on the edge for the beat, and then you're coming up and you're playing the and a with the tip of the stick on the top of the hi-hat on the 3rd and 4th 16th per beat. So it's like 1 and a 2 and a edge, top, top, edge, top, top, edge. And what that does is, because you're now no longer playing on the 2nd 16th, that frees it up to play a ghost note. So you might want to play something, if I just play the hands, we'll have a look from the side, something kind of like this. Right? So yeah, so little things like that, like you might want to do that every now and again, or you could do it for the whole second verse or whatever. That's up to you, because I'm not so far off the original groove that it's like, wow, what the hell are you doing? Like like I'm not playing completely unrelated to the groove. I'm just kind of embellishing it a little bit. So of course you're allowed to do things like that, yeah? So there you have it, guys. That is the main beat and the main fills from Africa by Toto, Jeff Porcaro on drums. Check it out. So much fun. Be sure to click the link below for instant access to your free 7-day trial of I Can Play Drums Pro.